What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're getting into my Week 14 NBA power rankings. So let's dive right into it. Starting with the bad tier, staying the same. Basically, for a lot of this time, it's been like 2 to 3 weeks. I think it's been the same order here, but let's get into it. Start out with number 30, the Detroit Pistons, as obviously staying at the same spot here. The Pistons went 1-3. Not a lot to say about the Pistons. Just continue to be the worst team in the league, in my opinion. And now it's looking like they're trying to shop their leading scorer Bogdanovich. So, yeah, I mean, everything's just horrible in Detroit right now. I mean, if they get rid of Bogdanovich, this team's even worse than they already are. So, not a good team at all, sitting at 12-26. Moving on to number 29, we have the Houston Rockets. And the Rockets, also close to being the worst team, but I didn't put them there. I do think they're a little bit more talented with Green. Obviously, with the Pistons missing out on Cade Cunningham. The Rockets go 0-5 this week, though. Yeah, it's just same Rockets. They still have a very, very long way to go for this team to be competitive. Huge rebuild incoming for Houston, as we all know. So we'll see if the Rockets can turn things around, but right now, not a good team at all. Yeah. Moving on to number 28, though, we're going to have the Charlotte Hornets staying at the same spot here. Where are they? There they are. The Hornets this week go 1-3. So, yeah, I mean, Charlotte's just a mid team. I mean, just a bad team, really. It's really just LaMelo Ball and nothing else. That's really why the only reason they're better than the Rockets and the Pistons is because of LaMelo Ball. Just horrible talent around him. They really need to build around him better moving forward. Going to number 27, though, we have the San Antonio Spurs staying at the same spot here at 14-31. The Spurs this week go 1-3. So same things about the Spurs. If it wasn't for Greg Popovich, I do think this might be the worst team in the whole NBA. But they do have Popovich, and he is able to lead a team to at least be somewhat competitive and somewhat not horrible. I mean, this Spurs team, I do think has the worst roster in the whole NBA. But like I said, Popovich, I do think excels this team above all these other ones, and that's where the Spurs land on this ranking. And then going to number 26 to round out the bad tier, we have the Orlando Magic, the somewhat interesting team, I think, on this bad tier. Orlando just goes 0-2 this week. Not a lot of games to look out from, but Orlando, my stance on them still stays. I do think this team could be in the hunt tier. They just need a week or two just of good basketball, winning. And this team could be in the mix for the playoffs, but right now still in the bad tier. Obviously, still a very young team and still has a long way to go. All right, but that is the bad tier. Let's go to the in the hunt tier now. And before we dive into this, I just want to say in the hunt tier, the play-in tier, and the playoff tier, it was very hard to make these tiers. You guys don't even know. These teams are close. I mean, there's a lot of close teams here. So, yeah, just know if your team's maybe like 3 spots lower than you wanted or expected, just know that this was a very tight tier list here when we go from about 25 to number 9-ish. All right, let's start out with 25 here. The LA Lakers dropping down 3 spots. Lakers this week go 1-3. It's just been this kind of year for LA. Ever since that poor start, they've just had good weeks and they've had bad weeks, good weeks, bad weeks. It's just not a winning formula right now for LA at all. It's clearly missing Anthony Davis. It's LeBron James and basically no one for this Lakers team. Clearly LeBron James can't even carry this bad of a roster around him. But because they have LeBron James, they're decent enough. They're still in the mix in a Western Conference that's basically wide open right now. So the Lakers don't count out James yet, but it was a rough week for the Lakers. Going to number 24, though, we have the Toronto Raptors staying at the same spot here. The Raptors this week go. I believe they went 2-2. Yeah. So decent enough week for the Raptors. They have that one stretch, obviously, where they were losing a bit of games, but they're starting to figure things out. No, they're playing like the old Raptors that coming into the year we thought they would be. A well-coached team, has some talent around the roster, can definitely win a lot of games, but lacks that upside. That's really what the Raptors were, I think, coming into the year. So let's see if they can keep this up. They're going to have to get on a winning streak if they want to win, but that might be tough with their lack of upside, as I said. But the Raptors still are a solid team. And then going to number 23, we have the Washington Wizards staying at the same spot. There they are. Washington also goes 2-2 this week. So the Wizards, really, the main difference I think between the Raptors and the Wizards right now is I do think that the Wizards has a bigger potential to climb out of this hole that they've dug. Both these teams have dug themselves into. We've seen it before with Washington. They got Bradley Beal, they got Kyle Kuzma, Porzingis. I mean, it's a good team here. It can be an explosive team, and I don't think it's a team that a lot of people, if the Wizards are on, it's not a team that you want to play. So we're going to see if the Washington Wizards can climb out of this hole. It's going to be tough, though. Like I said, this team has been very inconsistent this year, though. They need to figure things out. But, yeah, I still think that the Wizards have some hope. Going to number 22, though, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder jumping up 3 spots here. Big-time week for the Thunder. What did they go? They went 5-0 this week. 5-0. Or 4-0, sorry. 4-0. Big time week for Gilius Alexander and OKC. If you look at this team, Alexander has been excellent this season for Oklahoma City. There's some other pieces there, obviously, like I mentioned. Still kind of it's a lack of talent team, but they're well coached right now. They're playing good basketball, playing together as a team, and that's leading to victories. So the Thunder are still not a team that you can't count out right now. Right now, they are in the play-in tournament in the actual standings, so that's good for them. I do think that they're not quite on that level yet, but another a big week for OKC to jump up 3 spots to 22. All right, and then at number 21, we have a team dropping down 5 spots here, the Indiana Pacers. Man, right when I thought the Indiana Pacers were getting some things going, guess what happens? They go 0-5 this week, so the opposite of the Thunder here. Yeah, the Pacers, just their worries started to come back this week. Lack of also, by the way, they are in the play-in tournament tier, but lack of talent is a thing to be worried from. I know that Halliburton has been playing great this season. They got Miles Turner, Ivy, the young rookie. They got players, but still, oh no, not Ivy. Ivy's on the Pistons, right? Halliburton, my bad. But yeah, I mean they got players, but still there is a lack of talent there, obviously. And it can show up sometimes for Indiana, but they've done a great job this season so far. They're 23-23, good start to the year as we pass the midway point. So yeah, I still think the Pacers are happy with this right now, and they're gonna have to turn things around this week, but still a good team. And right now, I do think they're 21. Going to number 20, though, we have the Phoenix Suns dropping down 7 spots. My, oh my, what is going on with this team? I mean, I know Devin Booker's injured here. I know that's a big thing, but I would expect this team to be decent enough without Booker. What was this team at the beginning of the year? I feel like they were 17-6 or whatever, or 17 and something, and they have fallen all the way below 500 at 21-24. Another horrible week. They go 0-3. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on. I mean, they got Ayton, they got Paul, they got Bridges. I mean, I would expect this roster that's been one of the better ones over the past 3 years or so, or 2 years, to be a good team. I mean, right now that's just not it with Phoenix. They've got to figure things out. Just not playing good at all, and really need Booker to return here because he is clearly makes much more of a difference than I really anticipated entering into the season. So, Suns very bad past few weeks here, and they are going to continue to fall down 7 spots to number 20. All right, going to 19 here, we have the Portland Trailblazers. The Trailblazers, let's see, they go 2-2 this week, I believe. Yeah, they do. Actually, sorry, the Blazers are not dropping down 2 spots. They're jumping up a spot. That's my bad. Blazers jumping up a spot here. Yeah, they're jumping up a spot. So, yeah, solid enough week for the Blazers. Just clearly the same thing with them. Damian Lillard. This is the Damian Lillard show, and there's not a whole lot else there. That's really how I've been describing the Trailblazers all season, in my opinion. Really doesn't change on them. All right, then going to number 18, though, we have the Chicago Bulls jumping up a spot. Where are they? There they are. The Bulls have found let's see, they go 2-2 as well this week, so decent enough week for Chicago. I think that, if they can have these average weeks, I think that's a win for the Bulls because we know their potential. They're going to have weeks where they go off, and if they can just get an average week here or there, that's fine for the Bulls. So, yeah, I still think that this Bull team has a lot of potential with DeMar DeRozan, Levine, very similar to the Wizards, but much better, I think. Much more potential. You don't really want to play. If the Bulls are on, you do not want to play the Bulls. This team could really light up scoreboards and fast. So you got to be worried there if you're a team. But still, the Bulls, clearly have had lows this season. It's been a very inconsistent year, and they got to find that consistency. So a 2-2 week, I say, isn't that bad. All right, going to number 17, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves who go, let's see, 2-3 this week. So that's Minnesota, their 2-3 week. So yeah, solid week for Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, clearly this team's banged up right now. We all know this as they're staying at 17 here. It's a banged up roster with Karl-Anthony Towns. Rudy Gobert's been injured here. So the Timberwolves are trying to figure things out right now. And losing players does not help. We all know their upside. Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns, so they can get that working. This team could be very good. And Anthony Edwards, obviously, D'Angelo Russell's a really good guard, too. So, yeah, this Timberwolves team is a good team. They should be better than what we're seeing right now, but they still need to work on some things, obviously. All right, then let's go to number 16. We have the Utah Jazz jumping up 5 spots here. The Jazz find themselves at 24-24 and going 3-1 this week, and a lot of teams who struggled, the Jazz are going to jump ahead of them here with a good week. So, yeah, Utah, Jordan Clarkson, Lauri Markkanen is playing really, really good basketball. He seems to be getting better every week here for Utah. Mike Conley's really getting back to form this week. He's playing a lot better than after that injury that he had like a month ago. So, yeah, the Jazz are playing good basketball right now. Like I said, they're a very cohesive team. As I said earlier this season, well-coached team with Will Hardy. So, I think that the Jazz are a good team right here. And at number 16, that's a good spot for them. All right, then number 15, jumping up 3 spots, we have the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta this week goes 3-1, so good week for Atlanta. After a bad week last week, Trae Young, Murray. I mean, we all know that this Atlanta team can be very good. And that's what the Hawks are trying to prove right now, that they can be a very good team. Going 3-1, it's been a very inconsistent year for Atlanta, as we said about a lot of these teams here. A lot of these teams just inconsistent. But yeah, Atlanta, I do think if this team can find consistency, can be a top team. Well, maybe not that far, but can be a good team in the Eastern Conference, and can make some noise. Going to number 14, though, we have the Dallas Mavericks dropping down 3 spots here and into the play-in tournament. So Dallas goes, let's see, the Mavericks go 1-3. So it's just clearly apparent that it's the Luka Doncic show right now, and he has no help. The Mavericks really need to find some help around him. They've got the trade deadline, so I've been hearing rumors that they're going to make some trades. I think it's wise for them to do that, because really, Luka Doncic does not have a lot of help right now around this team. It's really a struggle bus right now. I'm going to be honest there in Dallas, especially if teams are. We saw, I don't remember who they played, but Luka scored like 12 points, and one of the players shut down Luka, and just the Mavericks could not hold on. So clearly they need Luka to score, or else this team's not very good at all. So, and just imagine a Luka Doncic injury. This team could be maybe even in the bad tier with a Doncic injury. So it's just they've got to figure things out right now. They need some help around Luka, and we'll see if the Mavericks can get that. But going to number 13, though, we have the LA Clippers dropping down 4 spots here. I mean, the Clippers just, I don't know. It's like I said last week, it's a hard team to rank for the Clippers because we know what they're capable of. Once Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are fully healthy, this team could be a very freaking fracking good team. But right now, it's just not that. And it's just very we have no idea when they're going to be healthy. So you just got to judge them how they are. And they're 1-3 this week. So I'm still giving them the benefit of doubt if Leonard and George are going to play healthy and fully. But still, I mean, the Clippers just not playing good enough here. I mean, they've got a lot of good talent around Leonard and George. And if George and Leonard are playing at their full capabilities, this might be the best team in the whole league. But it's just not been that this season. And the Clippers still have a long way to go to climb back up the standings right now. Going to number 12, jumping up 2 spots, we have the New York Knicks. The Knicks this week go 4-0. So great week for New York. As they jump up 2 spots here. Yeah, I mean, the New York Knicks, they're a good team here with Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's playing really good this season. You got some of these other pieces with Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. I mean, this is a solid enough team for New York, and they're showing it. They're playing a lot more like that one team that we saw a couple years ago in the playoffs. Last year was a horrible year for New York. But, yeah, the Knicks are figuring things out right now, and a good week for them. My opinion really doesn't change on them, though. All right, but then jumping up 4 spots here to number 11, we have the Sacramento Kings. The Kings, it's time to start taking the Kings seriously as they go, I believe, 4-0? Yeah, 4-0 this week. Huge week for Sacramento here. Just playing really good basketball right now. Really good team right now. And they're distributing the ball well. They're playing good basketball. You know, De'Aaron Fox is a really good player for the Sacramento Kings. Sabonis has been playing great. And this Kings team, it's time to take them seriously. This team's been playing very, very good. And that's why they deserve to jump up 4 spots. And in the Western Conference, not a whole lot of good teams here. They deserve to be in the playoff tier right now. at a 25-18 record. So great week for Sacramento, and then not so good of a week here. Number 10, dropping down 2 spots, we have the New Orleans Pelicans, just kind of continuing to fall kind of silently right now for New Orleans. They go 1-3. And yeah, I mean, New Orleans, I think it's time to get a little bit worried about this team. Obviously, Zion Williamson, really, really good player. Brandon Ingram, really good player as well, and CJ McCollum. It's a good roster here, but New Orleans, I always said it, I really haven't put this team in the contender tier really all year. I think once, but yeah, I mean, the Pelicans just still, I mean, there's some worries on this roster. I mean, it's not a top roster to, I think, contend. They're showing it right now. They're losing some of these games. And I think I was right to not bring them into the contender tier over the past, 4-ish weeks for the Pelicans. So, going to be dropping down 2 spots there at 10. Jumping up 3 spots, though, at 9, we have the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors find themselves at 22 and 22. Yeah, so the Warriors go 2-1 this week. And yeah, the Warriors, I think it deserves for them to come up like this much because Curry and the Warriors, we know what this team is capable of, and if they can continue to move up the standings, I think this team is a contender. But still a little bit too early for me to move them up that much. Obviously, a veteran roster could be a very scary team in the playoffs, a spoiler team for a lot of teams. And yeah, the Warriors right now are going to be at 9, jumping up 3 spots. And then number 8, we have Miami jumping up 2 spots here. Also another team close to jumping into the contender tier if they could continue this up. They go 3-1. So looking a lot like the Heat as of normal or as of last year. Jimmy Butler's playing really good. They got Bam Adebayo, who's playing good basketball, and it's a good Heat team. Obviously, we know what this team is capable of, as we've seen over the past 3 years. So I do think the Heat clearly have enough roster talent to get up there to the contender tier. Just not yet. The Eastern Conference is a very good conference, and I don't think that they're quite in the contender tier conversation. All right, but let's go into the contender tier. So we got all that craziness aside. It's time for the contender tier. Going to number 7, the Philadelphia 76ers are going to stay put here at 7 because the Sixers this week go 3-1. So, yeah, Philly, Joel Embiid, James Harden continuing to really, ever since James Harden's return, this team's been much, much better, playing really good basketball. And Embiid's just playing like the dominant center that he is. And the 76ers just continuing to win a lot of games. Not a whole lot's changed on them. Number 6, though, the Cavaliers. It was close. I was debating actually moving the Cavaliers below the Sixers as the Cavs go 2-2 this week, continuing just to kind of an average week again for Cleveland. But I kept the Cavs above them because they played a tougher schedule, I think, this week. They had to go to Minnesota, which is not an easy task, and Rudy was playing in that game. And they had to play, and they had to go to Memphis, which is one of the best teams in the league. So, yeah, I mean, the Cavaliers, still, I really believe in this team. Donovan Mitchell's been playing out of his mind this season, as we all know. Darius Garland, really good player. Jarrett Allen. And the Cavaliers, we know what this team's capable of. Very young roster, could be a very scary team in the future. Going to number 5, though, dropping down 3 spots, we have the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets are going, let's see, they go 0-3 this week, it looks like. Yeah, 27-16. So, yeah, Brooklyn, a little bit coming back down to earth as of late. I mean, last week they lost their first game, but still stayed them at 2. This week now they've lost all of them. Sorry guys. But yeah, the Nets. I mean, just kind of coming back down to earth here. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are obviously top teams, but over the past 3 games, just have not looked at like the same like they did over that winning streak. So, I'm not worried about the Nets. It's just one bad week. I think they'll get back on their feet, but still need to figure things out. All right, dropping down one spot, though, we have the Milwaukee Bucks here at 29-16. The Bucks go 3-2 this week here. Yeah, so just so the Bucks, sorry. The Bucks are still a good team here. We all know Giannis is a really good player. We all know that this team is really stacked from top to bottom. But yeah, they haven't been the top team like I anticipated coming into the season. Still need to be able to show that right now. But I do think with the Nets coming down, I think they're going to come ahead of them. But a couple West teams come jumping ahead of the Bucks here. And then let's dive into those teams. At number 3, jumping up 2 spots, we have the Denver Nuggets, who go 5-0 this week. Just dominant performances by Nikola Jokic and Denver. This team is just playing really good basketball. Murray's getting back to his play, and Denver playing really good. This is a scary basketball team. As we've seen all year, with Jokic can do like anything he wants. He can have anything his way. The Nuggets are a really freaking good team, and a team that I think will do a lot of noise in the playoffs. And then jumping up 2 spots, it's very close between these two. The Memphis Grizzlies going 4-0 this week. So another undefeated week from Memphis. Ja Morant continues to show why he's one of the best players in the NBA right now. One of the best guards, at least. It's a very young team, very good roster around him as well. Very scary team, very aggressive team. And the Memphis Grizzlies are a really good team and a really scary team entering into the playoffs. So yeah, I think the Grizzlies are a very good team. And then if you look at the Western Conference right now, it's really just the Grizzlies and the Nuggets right now. There's a lot of average in the West. And then you have Memphis and Denver, who's basically dominating right now. I think the next best team next team in the standings is like 5 games back on Memphis, which is like the Kings or something. All right, but then number 1, we have the Boston Celtics staying at the number 1 team here. As the Celtics continue to win here, going 4-0 this week. So 3 teams that go undefeated at the top 3 here this week. Celtics, very good team here. Obviously, we know really great defense, really explosive offense. What else? What more could you ask for if you were a Celtics fan other than what they are? And I really do like the Celtics. So anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. Hopefully, you all enjoyed the content. Comment down below your power rankings. And anyway, peace out.